I know it's a little late and we're all very tired, so just bear with me. I'm not going to speak a lot. I will be showing you a lot of things on how we've transformed retail from our journey at Metadome. But before that, before I start, I would like to know who all are here from the retail industry. Just raise your hands. Anybody from automotive or heavy machinery? Okay, great. Hi everyone, my name is Kanav and I'm the founder and CEO at Metadome. We are in the business of building virtual worlds. Now, what does that mean, right? What are virtual worlds? So I'll not talk about it, I'll show you what virtual worlds are. But before we do that, let me give you a little bit of an introduction on what drives us, what our mission is, and what exactly are we trying to achieve. So Metadome is creating the plumbing between XR and Metaverse. So any digital or virtual experience that you see today online and offline has an XR intervention. And what we have been able to do in the last 6 years of our existence is identify what are these right XR intersections or interventions that can really solve the problems of retail and the automotive industries. And how does that happen? And how is it different from 2D commerce? And what does virtual commerce mean is something that I would show you. Our vision is to bring 1 billion people into virtual commerce by the end of 2023. And I'm very proud to say that we have already achieved 20% of that number. So it's not that far for where we are today. So let's start with the product that has not been sold online, which is a car, right? So we all know that a car or an automotive is such a big product that it is so difficult for us to sell it online. Multiple companies have tried it. They've come with multiple form factors, with VR, with AR, with configurators, with something or the other, but still the auto buying journey is broken. And we are seeing images, we are seeing videos. Is that enough? Maybe not. So let me show you on what our take on the auto buying journey is at Metadome. So what you will see here in this video is a small glimpse of what virtual commerce experience for an auto brand or for a four-wheeler brand looks like. Now this is their virtual world. So imagine a brand building their virtual world, inviting their customers into the virtual world, inviting them to configure, inviting them to interact, see what brand elements exist in their virtual world. They have the digital signage, they have the virtual products, they have the interactions with it. Now let's say if I am a potential car buyer, I can just walk into this virtual world with my avatar and start interacting with the products in 3D. But that's not enough. Like I'm interacting with it, I'm customizing it. I can maybe open the doors, I can play with the boot, and I can then obviously go inside the car as well because interiors matter a lot. But what you will see here is that the graphical rendering quality of such an experience, this is not happening on a VR headset alone. This is happening on web. And that is where we feel the biggest differentiator lies, where you don't have to download an app for this. You don't have to be exclusive to a VR headset or a VR app. This is all being rendered on web. And you will see the quality of assets, you will see the photorealism. All these things are what customers want to see, which gives them a lot of conviction and a lot of trust on what product they are buying. Especially for a product like automotive, which requires a lot of time to understand what the product is all about. Now, when I'm inside the car as an avatar, I can see it from all angles. But is that enough? Can I also see this product in my own environment? Which is what contextual augmented reality does. So in this case, what you will see is an augmented reality experience of the car where there is a 1:1 scale of the product. But not only that, you will also see real-time contextual reflections on top of the product. You will see it looks like as if the product is present in front of you, and it doesn't really take away the realism from it because I am taking this experience in a contextual environment which is my own. But is that also enough? I have seen it in 3D, I have customized it, I have seen it in AR. What else can I do with it? So let's see. One of the things that customers really want in the case of a car is a test drive. So can I build a test drive experience for my customers on my website where they can just come in, configure, do the AR thingy and take the product for a test drive? Now in this virtual test drive experience, what you will see is that this has real-time Formula One racing mechanics. Now what does that mean? From acceleration, from braking, from physics, from shock absorption, from sound, from haptics. Everything is as close to what you experience in the real world as well. So compare this to what you see on any manufacturer's website today, which is a 2D image of the product or a video of the product versus what we just showed you. This is where we feel XR comes in and takes the shift from a 2D commerce to a virtual commerce. Now let's talk about what else can XR do and what are the other use cases where XR can intervene and solve the problem of product experience and virtual world. So one of the things that we've all realized is that there are ads, but then there are interactive ads. But even in interactive ads, there are limitations. So if I have a 3D ad today that I want to run on a Google, on a Facebook, it takes a lot of effort to create that sort of a content. But even if I do that using the existing Spark AR platforms or any other platform that exists, they have a lot of restrictions, right? So they don't allow you to publish content which is high fidelity, which is 3D in nature. Basically, you can just put a product. You can't put a virtual world. So we found a way to actually put a virtual world in your Facebook feed. So imagine where a person can actually see your brand's virtual world and take the experience of this. So this is one of the companies that we work with where their entire virtual world or virtual showroom has been put onto the Facebook feed where not only can you see the world, see their showroom, see their dealership with all the products, but you can also see each and every product individually in 3D and in AR. And the configuration that you can do here is all real time. And you don't have to worry about, oh, should I go to their website or should I download an app? This is all happening in your Facebook feed as we speak in real time without worrying about any other CTRs. Now, when I talk about interactions, I'm talking about real-time interactions. I'm talking about interactions like, interact with the doors, interact with the booths, and the same thing that we saw earlier that can be put on your website. The same thing can be replicated on Facebook as well. So, the intervention of XR in social media is not only limited to product visualization. It has gone to a step where customers can now see the entire virtual world within the social media platforms. And obviously, they can take this experience in augmented reality as well. One thing that you can note here is the level of graphics, the level of realism that is required for a car manufacturer to convince customers that yes, this is the product that they should go after. Isn't that amazing? Great. So let's talk about what else we need to focus on when we talk about XR intervention. So why did I cover website? Why did I cover social media? Is because as brands and as retailers, we need to be where the consumers are. And today the consumers are everywhere. We have the consumers on social, we have the consumers on website, we have the consumers in the real world. We have consumers in some event-based metaverse as well. But it's always important for a brand to know how do they become a part of this, right? Because their intervention starts from them having their own virtual world. And if they don't have a virtual world, it's very, very difficult to be a part of the XR game when it comes to product visualization and product experiences are concerned. So let me give you another example of one of another customer that we have who have created a virtual world just to give an experience of what their showroom or what their store looks like. So this is where you can again build your avatar, you have your catalog, you have all your products there, and you can visit each and every aisle in this virtual world and understand each and every product. You can see the digital ads, you can see the different zones that you have, and you can walk around and see what all this brand has to offer in their virtual world. This tagged with an augmented reality experience of virtual try-on, at least in the case of spectacles, makes the journey complete. So rather than just having a website with images, this becomes my de facto website. And this is how I give my experience of brand, product, and try-on. So that is where XR comes in and says, hey, why don't we just revamp it from 2D to 3D? And for us, this is the way to do it. Now, we spoke about social, but let's talk about another top of the funnel medium, which is we are all aware of, which is search, right? So when I search a product today, so let's say if I am searching, an accessory or a makeup product for my wife, that is a product that I don't want to try on myself, but that is a product that maybe she wants to try on herself without going to the website. And is there a way that you can just do a Google search and try that product on yourself? And that is what Google Swirl or Google Display Network does today, where you can host your entire catalog without worrying about how will it be integrated with your website. Not only is this a trial experience or an experience to see what the product looks like on you, this can be integrated with the shopping carts and the shopping experiences as well. So all your e-commerce enablers today offer integration with a virtual try-on experience like this, where you can control the entire funnel from search till conversion. So you have access to information from top of the funnel, how much engagement happened in the middle, and then what finally got converted, which may or may not be available today because the dwell time on 2D websites or 2D try-ons, or not even 2D try-ons, but 2D images is not that great. We see like 8 to 9 seconds of engagement and 70% bounce rates. Now that's a lot. And how do we solve that? This is the way we feel XR can solve these problems. Moving on, I have a lot more to cover, so I'm skipping the obvious bits. This is the last but not the least, is how do XR convert more or generate more engagement offline? Now this is a new one, right? We all heard how do we do XR online? We see XR or any augmented reality experiences or 3D experiences online. But there is a whole gambit of offline experiences that can be enhanced, or customer experiences that can be enhanced using XR. And what that means is something that let me show you of one of another customers that we have who have made XR a part of their journey at store. Now store journeys are very different than website journeys, but what you do in a store is not that difficult or not that different than what you do in the online journey as well, because end of the day you're selling, right? And you're giving the experiences of the product. So what you will see here is that there are visualization interventions at each and every part of the store. So starting from, by the way, this is a home decor and interior decor brand. What they do is they sell anything from mattresses to paints to taps to kitchens to anything that you would want in your house. Now, when you're designing your house, you are worried about a lot of stuff. You're worried about the paint. You're worried about the flooring. You're worried about the woodwork that will go there. You're worried about what kind of bed I should get, what kind of couch should I get. And to visualize all that, even in an offline journey, is very, very difficult because the entire inventory is not available at store. And even if it is available, it is not arranged together so that you get the complete visualization experience. Now, what you will see here is there is a connection between what XR does and what happens in the real world. So for example, if let's say I want to configure this sofa, I can actually do that on a big screen at the store and change the fabric, change the color, and change the textures as well. And then I can view this at store in AR as well, within the limits of the graphical quality that you would want in the real product itself. Same goes for some of the stuff that can be integrated with the store journey. So if I want to build my own bed using this technology, I can just decide what headboard do I want, what colors do I want, and the store journey will do it for me. Now, it may look like magic, but it is not. It is very simple. What we are doing is we are bringing aspects of the virtual world into the real world. The same way we were bringing aspects of the real world into the virtual world. So that solves the problems of the offline world as well, where the products that don't engage themselves, you make them engaging. The inventory which is not available at store, you bring in that inventory into the store as well. And then connect it in a way where the entire journey gets wrapped up or the entire journey gets rendered into one particular takeaway. The problem that gets solved here is that the customers who come to your stores, they have a much better understanding of not only your products, but what exactly do they want to buy. Because you are giving them a visualization experience which is not possible today in the real world. So that's it from my side, and I hope you guys liked the presentation, and now I would like to open the floor up for questions if there are any.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for this amazing talk, actually. So the automobile AR experience is kind of fun because sometimes when you're doing like a tour visit at the car site, the car salesman might be like, oh, this is so good, blah, 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 and trying to like really like trying to spice you to get to buy the car. So I guess I like that a lot. So I like the AR version of this a lot. So I guess the question is, in this automobile AR experience, are there any like voice instructions that, or like navigation things, or things sort of like ways to sort of like guide attention toward like different parts of the car so that they can kind of pay attention? So, oh wow, here's this, or you didn't realize of that, blah, blah. I'm just wondering if there's sort of instructions that help like inform the buyer as they're looking around the car. Thank you so much.
Well, that's a great question, and we get that a lot. So some of our existing customers, we've already worked on voice-enabled AR interactions with them, where you integrate voice instructions. So let's say if I want to change the color of the car, I can just say change the color to red, and you will see that the red color appears. Or let's say if I want to augment a certain variant of the product, I can just say augment the ZXI variant, and it will augment the ZXI variant for you. And all you have to do is just hold up your phone like this. So I think it's very evident that some customers want it to be voice enabled, but what we've seen is that there are certain consumers who want to touch and interact with the smartphone also. So there are both sides to it. So I think varying from what the use cases are, especially if you are in a virtual world where you have an avatar, it would make more sense.
Sure.
Because then you have someone you can actually talk to, right? You can talk to an avatar and tell that avatar that, oh, can you do this for me? And that avatar can be a sales consultant.
Would you say, let me ask the question again. So would you say that at some point that if the person really likes the car, it kind of makes them drive to the auto dealership? Because I guess in this situation, this is sort of a way to test out the car before you drive to the dealership. So you kind of save time to find parking, whatever. Versus this, if they see the car they really like, it kind of incentivizes them to go straight to that car and saves time at the auto dealership. Do you think that's like a use case you bump into a lot?
So yeah, that's again a great insight. So what we've seen is that what this actually does is first save time for the consumers, because car buying or buying a product like an automotive it's not a 2-day task, right? It takes them at least 2 weeks to make up their minds. They do a lot of online research, and this becomes their biggest platform to do online research on. Because otherwise what they will do is go on YouTube or go on the manufacturer's website to see images. Now that information is not enough, right? When this comes in, that 14-day time of them thinking on what I should do actually comes down to maybe 3 days. And they are very much aware on what exactly do they want, which color do they want, which color do they like, because by that time they have shown to their families, they've shown to their friends that this is the configuration that I like. And not only that, since this is connected to analytics, the nearest dealer already knows that there is a customer 10 miles away from me who's interested in this color, right?
Wow, that's interesting.
So, they can pre-plan.
That's insane. That's really good to know that they were pre-planned out. I guess the last question I have is, is the experience different for more of like the luxury car buyer who like a Porsche or like a BMW? Will they probably be asking for more versus like a regular, like a Honda, Toyota? Have you seen differences in like behavior, buyer behavior for this type of experience?
So I think the biggest difference that we've seen in behavior from the customer side is the amount of configurations that are available.
Got it.
So, if it's a Honda or a Toyota car, they don't have a lot of configurations. But let's say if it's a, even a Tesla does not have a lot of configurations,
Got
but
it.
maybe they do now. But, some of the luxury brands, they have a lot of inventory. They have a lot of accessory kits, a lot of trims, a lot of rims, a lot of wheels, a lot of colors, a lot of interiors, a lot of different kinds of leathers. So, the list just goes on.
Yeah.
So as we move from, the Hondas to, let's say, the Porsches, we see that the laundry list of what you can do in customization with the car just keeps on increasing.
Holy crap,
So
okay.
that's where, the actual incentive for a user is that, there are going to be certain configurations that are not even possible in the real world, but I can do them in the virtual world.
Got it.
So that's one big difference that we see.
Got it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. This is good.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for all these insights. Any other questions? All right. Well, let's give them a round of applause. Thank you.